Hello students, this video is about solving one-step equations. Actually, and in fact, I want to write it like that. I titled it One-Step Solving, which I say that a lot, but solving one-step equations. And remember, equations have an equal sign. Expressions don't. Two words I want to review with you right now, algebra and variables. Algebra is a really big math domain, world, that has lots of parts to it, but one of the biggest parts is finding unknown values. And then variables, perfect segue, variables are unknown values represented by letters, right? So 3x equals 27. X is taking the place of an unknown value. What times 3 equals 27? Now we can find that out. So one of the things about one-step equations and solving them is that we can find out what x is through guess and check. But we don't want to do that. We want to use our algebra skills on simple mathematic problems, algebra problems, to find what x is so that we can apply those skills to more complicated problems in the next step. Okay? So there's two more words I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about inverse, which is nice and easy. It means opposite. And I think I want to talk to you about undo and alone. Us math teachers, we use these words a lot when we are introducing kids to solving equations because we say we undo what's happening. So to undo something is to, oh man, defining that in English is hard. Let me pause and look up and figure out what I want to say. Okay, I just looked it up and this is perfect. It's undo is to reverse the results, results of something. Okay, so you could say, like, I want to undo the harm I did to my friendship when I told that lie. Okay, I want to reverse the results of telling a lie to my friend. And the result was harm, and I want to undo that harm. But, you know, a lot of times it takes time. But this is math, not relationships. So, alone, I think you guys know this, is by itself or oneself. Okay, so inverse is opposite, because I'm going to say inverse. Inverse is opposite. Undo is to reverse the results of something. To reverse the results of something. And alone is by itself or by oneself. Okay? So let's take that previous example I had given. 3x equals 27. Well, I know that that's 9 because I know that 3 times 9 equals 27. But here's how I would solve that algebraically had I not known. What I do is okay, let's go to the first. Ooh, there's an important word. Okay, so first I want to do that. teachers refer to this as different things. I'm going to call it the brick wall, okay? It's the brick wall, the dotted line, okay? And here's the concept. Anything that you do to one side of an equal sign, you have to do to the other side of an equal sign, or else it won't be balanced. You have to keep balance by doing things to both sides of the equal sign. Okay? So my objective is to get x by itself or solve for x. Okay? I want to get down to where I have x equals and it tells me what x equals. Okay? Now I can do that and you can do that. Okay? This is a one-step equation, meaning there's only one operation we have to do to get x by itself. Okay? Now what's happening to x right now is it's being multiplied by 3. Multiplicación, see? So I need to do the inverse or the opposite. Okay? And I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide by 3. So I'm going to use this as my division bar. And anything I do to one side, I'm going to do the other side. And then I'm going to do a big line. This line means equals. This big line means equals. Like back when you were doing, 13 plus 27, and right, that means equals. It's that same line. It means equals. Okay. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I'm going to write 1x equals, and 27 divided by 3, and you can use your calculator. You can use your calculator here, is 9. Now, very important, we never write 1x. I have 1x. Okay, well then all I write is x. If I have 1x, I don't need to write a 1. I just write x. Okay? So had I not been showing you guys that, this is what I would have done. I would have said, okay, 3 divided by 3 is 1, so I have 1x. That's exactly what I want. I'm going to bring this x down. And notice how I put a line through them, meaning I kind of I made them unimportant because I made it 1. Okay? 1x, I got down to just 1x, just x by itself, right? Alone. I want to solve for x or get x alone. And then 27 divided by 3 is 9. And so this is my final answer. Okay, so let me show you something. So if I take 9 and I multiply it by 3, I get 27. So that's why when I get 3x, I want to do the inverse or the opposite and divide by 3. Let me do a better example. So let's do, okay, so let's say I have 6x. So let's say x is 2. Okay, so let's say x equals 2. So 2 times 6 equals 12. So it'd be like 6x equals 12. I'm not explaining this very well. So to get back, so what I'm doing to 2 is I'm multiplying it by 6 to get to 12. So then, entonces, if I have 6x equals 12, x is in this case, or if I have 6 times 2 equals 12, I could divide by 6 to get 2 by itself, and you could get 2 equals 2. Oh, I'm not explaining that the best. Let's go ahead and do another example. So here's a good one. Let's do 3 plus y equals 15. Okay? So the operation that's happening to y is adding 3. So first I need to remember to put my brick wall. The brick wall is going to remind me that anything I do to one side of an equal sign, I have to do to the other to maintain balance. Okay? So what's happening to y is we're adding 3, so we're going to do the inverse, which is subtracting. Okay, so I want to subtract 3 from this side so that I can get y alone. Okay, so I can get y alone. Or I could solve for y. But remember that anything I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other. So I'm going to subtract 3 here. And then I'm going to do my big line that means equals. Remember, this means equals. And 3 minus 3 is 0. So that cancels out. And we get y by itself. So I'm going to bring down the y, bring down the equals. And then all I have to do is do my math. 15 minus 3 equals 12. Now, we're going to check our work, always check our work, by substituting. And this is the next skill, is substitution. So maybe I'll say minute 11 and is the next video. So we rewrite the original equation. 3 plus y equals 15. But instead of y, we put what we think y is. And we think y is 12. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down equals 15. It has to equal 15. And let's say 3 plus 12, let's hope it's 15. Use your calculator, use your fingers, check. Yes, it's 15. And is this a true statement? Yes, it is. So it checks. Okay? In the next video, I'll show you what happens when you get it wrong, okay, and what it looks like when it does not check. But let's go ahead and leave it at that for now. Let's do another example. Let's do a subtraction one. Let's do an easy subtraction one, and then a harder one. So let's use x again. X minus 10 equals, let's do a decimal, 11.5. So we're saying what? Take away 10 equals 11.5. And that's pretty, some of you could do that in your head with guess and check, but let's use our algebra skills because we're going to use simple problems to practice our algebra skills, and then we're going to put them on more and more complicated problems. So let's start with our brick wall to remind us to balance, keep things balanced. Okay? And what's happening here is what's happening to x is we're adding 10 or subtracting 10. We are subtracting 10 from x. So we want to undo that by doing the inverse. We want to reverse that by doing the inverse, and the inverse is the opposite. The opposite is adding 10. So I'm going to add 10, but anything I do to one side I have to do to the other, so plus 10. Big line for equals. This cancels out, this comes down, so I write x equals 10, okay, so this is negative 10 plus 10, okay? Because I could do keep, change, and so I have negative 10 plus 10, that's 0. So this is nothing, it goes away, that's why I put a line through it, okay? And then this x, I bring the x down, x equals, and then 11.5 plus 10 is 21.5. And you can use a calculator there. That's totally fine. Feel free to use a calculator. the skill that you need to know is the inverse and the alone and the brick wall. You can use a calculator for this part. That's fine. So now I just want to check it real quick. So I'm going to do, I think the x is 21.5. So I'm going to do, I'm just down here, 21.5 minus 10 equals 11.5. So equals 11.5. And 21.5 minus 10, use my calculator, it comes out to 11.5. Is it true that 11.5 equals 11.5? Yes, it is, so it checks. Okay. So what happens if I get... I think I want to do some easy ones like that, and then, well... yeah, I'm going to make a part 2. Yeah, I'm going to stop... well, let's do... yeah, that's going to be the end of this video, and I'll do a part 2. We'll do a worksheet just with those, and then we'll do a part 2. Okay, good job. Thank you.